All right. Hey, looks like we're live. Hey, happy Saturday. Hope you're having a good one out there. I was trying to figure out something to do, and I happened to see that JetBrains Academy was free, which I didn't realize. And I'm not totally sure what the deal was with that. I think they might start charging at some point. Well, it's in early access right now. But it looks like a really cool way to learn a couple different technologies. Kotlin is something I'm definitely interested in learning more about. It's certainly a beginner, and I know the basic syntax, but I think it would be cool to learn more about it. Python is also something I'm particularly interested in. I think it'd be great for coding challenges, but I don't know if I really feel like learning more about Python right now. So maybe some other day. I don't know. But anyway, it looks free. They got a ton of topics. They got a ton of projects. I'm particularly interested in their way of approaching learning by... Oh, I should check that my mic is working. Check. Yep. All right. I'm sure something isn't working. We'll figure it out. Anyway, I'm particularly interested in their way of learning languages by doing projects. So I'm interested to see how that works out. So still just kind of exploring the website. We're going to get a curriculum with all the concepts necessary to build it. I like the idea of things being as little as 15 minutes. All right. So this all looks pretty good. It's currently in the early stages of development. It's currently free of charge. No license needed. Sorry, still waking up. Looks like it's on the Hyperskill platform, which I've never heard of before. And they do mention that they will keep you posted as they start implementing license options. So this looks like something that it's a good time to kind of hop on. It's early. So, there might be some kind of rough bits, but it's free right now. And I'm a big fan of JetBrains in general. I use a bunch of their different tools and have over many, many years now. So I'm excited. So let's get going. Definitely Kotlin. I wonder if Hyperskill is a JetBrains. Like I see their branding. So is this just? Oh yeah. So maybe this is their kind of entry into kind of e-learning. So that's cool. That's interesting. So I'm gonna start Kotlin. The full course takes 25 hours, so we're not going to finish this today for sure. I'm pretty interested to see some of this stuff. So if you're new to Kotlin, hopefully this will be interesting too. There's quite a bit of this that's probably going to be review for me. I'm sure I'll learn some new things, so it should be pretty cool. If you're just starting, you can start with easy, medium, hard, nightmare. We get a little sample here. We're going to be creating like a coffee machine. It does say 9 hours, which is kind of crazy. Let's see. Medium, we start with a calculator. And it will teach you about arrays, stacks, strings, and queues. Hard, we get into Minesweeper, numeric matrix processor. Looks like it's all kind of console based, which is pretty cool. Simple search engine. That sounds pretty cool. And then let's see, nightmare. It's a funny word to use for a learning project. Variety of sorting and search algorithms, one of which is recursive. If it's algorithm competence that you're after, this project is definitely for you. I'm tempted to start with Nightmare, but that seems kind of like a mistake. It doesn't say how many hours this one is. So there's that. I originally thought I would start at like one of these easy ones, but I see 9 hours and that's a bit much. Hey, what's up, Greg? Hope you're having a good one. Looks like my chat is not working. Let me fix that again. I really just need to switch to OBS, I guess, like the big boy OBS. So the way I know to fix chat is basically come in, hit save. So what I'm doing today, looks like chat still didn't work, is basically looking at the JetBrains Academy, which is, looks like it's kind of a new way of learning different languages. They have Java, Kotlin, and Python. Let's see what Python looks like. So I was thinking about just kind of working through one of these things. It's funny that the easies for Python are totally different than Kotlin and also much shorter. Let's see what Java looks like. I would expect Java to be the same as Kotlin, so coffee, nope. So that's interesting, 11 hours for coffee machine. 21 hours for that. Wow. So I don't know, maybe this is not fit for streaming, we'll see. Looks like chat is still not working. Let's try this one more time. What kind of languages do you work with, Greg? Ugh. Usually I come in here and I don't do anything. I just kind of look around and it works. Refresh cache. Let's see if that works. No, it looks like chat is still busted, so I don't know what to make of that. That's really annoying. It's always something. Computers. I don't trust them. Let's try one more thing here. Whoa, too big. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know what else to do on chat front. Alright, well, I give up. So I guess no chat today. At least not in the video. Yeah. So all of Kotlin takes 25. All of Python takes 34 hours. Interesting. Alright, well, we'll start here. See how it goes. No, this is the first one. It does say 9 hours, but I'm hoping that it's not actually going to be 9 hours. We'll see. Let's read a little bit more about it. What can be better than a cup of coffee that you don't have to make yourself? We should teach you the machine to do it. You'll work on programming coffee machine simulator. Works with typical products like coffee, milk, sugar, and plastic cups. If you run out of something, it shows a notification. And we have espresso, cappuccino, and a latte. And it also collects the money. Okay. Alright, let's just try it. We'll see how far we get. Do GitHub, sure. See how fast I read those terms? Okay, interesting. No problem of the day. Complete more topics to unlock this feature. Oh, I didn't know there were things were gamified. All right, I'm in. Okay. So nothing, I guess we just continue. Oh my gosh, look, there's a lot of steps here. 45 more topics left to keep track. All right, hey, well, you know, I guess that's the thing. Is like, do you really want to learn something? Then you got to put the time in. I'm hoping we can breeze through this though, because I'm a little familiar with Kotlin. Hey, we did this because it's. We said it was easy. Now we're looking at medium. Oh well, that's okay. 2,000 people have already done this. That's crazy. Let's start with a program that makes you coffee. We will implement functionality that simulates a real coffee machine. It can run out of milk. It can run out of coffee beans. That's cool. And it can make a variety of coffee. It takes money. First program will just make you coffee. Using hello world program, write the program that prints all lines as in the example below. Okay. Oh my gosh, I didn't know I was gonna have to read. Sorry, I tend to do that as I read stuff. I know that's annoying. To a full picture, we need to highlight 2 points of the definition. Make computers do tasks and writing a set of instructions that a machine could do. Okay. Wow, there's a lot of info here. I am definitely not going to read all about that stuff. It's pretty cool, but I kind of want to get to the beat. Oh, I didn't know I was going to be quizzed on the reading. Oh man, this is not great for streaming. Whatever. If it totally sucks for streaming, then we'll do something else. Why do we have so many programming languages? Aliens. This one is the longest, so I assume that's the right answer. There's no all. All right, interesting. Yeah. 9 hours seems like a lot. All right, awesome. Sure. Heart eyes. Oh, man, where's the... Can I postpone? What do you necessarily need? Bilingual. Alright. No emoji for that one. Yay. Oh my gosh. Theory and practice. Work on a project. I don't know if I want to... Should I just try skip? Oh, you can't even skip. Oh, man. Oh, hey, there we go. Skip. Basic little... I don't know. Maybe... Now I kind of want to look at it. Kotlin is awesome. It's new, but it's widely used. Yeah. You can use mobile, server-side, desktop applications. You can compile it down to JavaScript. I haven't tried that yet. You can compile it to native too. And of course, it's associated with Android a lot. It's not just Android. Yep, and that's what they're saying right here. So I guess I already do that, but it's pretty cool. Multiple programming paradigms, such as imperative, yep, object-oriented, generic, and functional. It's got a very functional style, so if you're doing things kind of like by the book in Kotlin, it's definitely going to feel very functionally. It's very tool-friendly, yep, works great with IntelliJ, surprise, surprise. July 11th, so it's only been out for 9 years, which is not long for a language. Official release in 16. I didn't realize it had only been out for a year when Google announced first class support for it. That's pretty cool. One thing I really like Kotlin is it kind of reminds me a little bit of Python in that you don't have to have a class, you don't have to have so much stuff to just write a quick script, which is awesome. Oh, I forgot about the quizzes. Pragmatic real-world problem sounds about right. It is compatible. Works great. And that's I think the real reason to use it. If you're using JVM libraries, or, like there's a ton of reasons to use Java for a project. And there's a lot of reasons not to, but I mean the library support in Java is just insane. It's so ubiquitous. Especially in open source circles. Where can it work? Desktop, yes. JVM, yes. Browser, yes. Android, yes. Okay, so here's our first chance to see, what does this do? What? So we've got a way to write code, awesome. For now, you're not going to understand, so we need to print hello world. So, looks like they just want us to do it like this. I'm going to do it a little differently to see if this works. Print line returns void, so I don't know how well this will work. Let's give it a shot. Eight seconds. We have a memory limit. 256 megabytes. Wrong. Yeah, I wasn't sure that would work. Alright, let's try this. Then we'll try the ID afterwards. Hey, what's up, Abdul? I was just checking out. I found out that JetBrains Academy was free, so I was just kind of curious. I use Kotlin at work, but I haven't been doing a lot of Kotlin at work lately, and so I just thought it'd be cool to kind of check this out. They also have one for Python, which I'm definitely interested in learning more about. But I was just having fun. I didn't feel like doing a challenge right now, so. What? Wrong. So I was just having fun. Oh, hello, comma Kotlin. Boo. Yeah, so I was just trying this out. I think Python is probably the best language to do coding challenges in. So that's an investment I should make. But I just really like Kotlin. That's crazy that it takes so long. I don't know what's going on there. They're like spitting up Docker in the background. Oh my gosh. C++, yeah, C++ is so hardcore, man. C++ would be a great investment. It'd be nice to know how things really work. Hey, Kotlin works. So now I want to try this. Maybe it was just because I missed the comma earlier, but I think I can do this. And it'll automatically pick up the void return type. That's the thing I'm not totally sure about. I think that this should work. Ugh. So this is something that you can do. It's a little bit of syntax sugar for one-liners. And I'm just going to copy this. Actually, Abdul, like after seeing your C++ solutions to the LeetCode problems, like C++ doesn't seem so scary to me. Like I just assumed it would be like tons of lines of code and a lot more typing and getting hung up on things, but yours looks really good. I don't expect this to have any effect on the runtime or the memory or anything. Just, I don't know, just having fun. Oh my gosh, come on. It must be running like some sort of container or something on the server. That's just crazy. Let me know. Yay. Okay, so that did work. So now if we look at IDE, let's see. We can write in the IDE, blah, blah, blah. All right, sure. Let's figure out how to hook this up. So I've got IntelliJ. I thought I signed in with GitHub. Yeah. Maybe. Okay, so how do I hook up the IDE? IDE is responding. What? How does it know? EduTools plugin. Actions. Let's see if we can find this plugin. Okay, should probably read all that. Create your own interactive course with custom tasks, checks, hints, and a lot more. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm already learning stuff. All right. So IDE is responding. EduTools is doing it. So let's solve an IDE and see what happens. Pop me up to another browser. I'm authorizing. Here's what we're looking at. So this is what we're doing. Whoa. Hey, it popped up over here. That's cool. Settings. All right, sure. JDK. Oh, that's pretty cool. So maybe I'll be able to complete this whole thing in the IDE. Wow, that's cool. I didn't know that was an option. Ooh, I'm missing chat though. Let's see. Hey, yeah, I think I'm probably gonna go for the May challenge. I just felt like doing something different this morning. Did you do today's? Windows Defender. Sigh. I have a weird bug with my plugin where it always gets the wrong theme by default. Let's see if I can fix that easily. Yeah. I guess that's working. Super easy, cool. I thought the last one said it was super beginner friendly. You know, I thought about that dynamic problem we were working on last night. The one where like Bob and Alice play the game. It was bugging me all night. And I was thinking about the solution we saw at the end there where people, the way the one guy kind of did it is basically kind of bottom up, and he figured out if it was possible at all for Alice to win for any number. I think I might try to solve that one later today, kind of similar to that way. I definitely felt like I cheesed it. But that problem was kind of a bummer. It felt so cheap to answer it with a with a mod too. So I don't know. I might go back and close this one. All right, so we're in here. It's saying copy the code and click run. I'm not going to copy it though. Oh, look, it automatically picked up my code that I wrote. That's cool. Man, I'm definitely impressed with the integration here. That's surprising. Hey, there we go. Oh, much faster than waiting on the web browser. This kind of looks a little weird. Not sure what all this stuff means just yet. Huh. Yeah, I can't double click it. Okay, so now what? What do I do? All right, well, let's see if anything changed in the website. Did it work? Did I get my 100 coins? Doesn't look like it. Hyper coins. Things just look a little weird. Yeah, so this doesn't quite look right. I'll try reopening this. I think I might, yeah, I'm on an old version of IntelliJ. Not that old though, should be alright. Alright. There we go. Okay, cool. So this looks better already. So now if we try it. How is this ready to update? I just installed this. Fine. Alright, well that's fast. Modern tools. Yeah, I think I probably am going to do the May challenge just because I kind of want to be able to compare and see how I did compared to last month. Although last night I was just feeling brain dead, so that was a bummer. Like struggling with the binary search. Let's see. Alright, I don't see how to go to next, so maybe this is just good. Refresh it. I really want those 100 hypercoins though. Solve an IDE. Oh, it's a bit awkward. I'm really impressed overall with like what it's doing, but it's definitely awkward for sure. Oh, I didn't see this check button before. Checking task. So that's funny. I thought it would be faster to work with the ID because it'd be running it locally, but it looks like it's still calling out to the server. Oh yeah, hey Trent. Thanks. Yeah. Oh hey, it looks like chat's working now. Awesome. Oh my gosh. Well, now we know why the course said it takes 9 hours. Okay, correct. Continue on JetBrains Academy. All right. Oh, it opened in my default browser instead of the one I'm actually using. So whatever, let's just continue here. But oh look, got the hypercoins. 100 of them. Making them internet monies. All right. That was not very hard. Basic literals, we want to skip it or continue? Oh, I lost my chat. There we go. 2 hours coding, 7 compiling. Yeah. Let's see. I've had jobs like that. I'm kind of just tempted to skip. Yeah, what the heck? Let's skip, and then we could always come back. Do we want to see standard output? I am kind of curious about that. All I've ever done is like print line. Let's see if there's anything interesting. By default, blah, blah, blah. Printing text. 2 functions that do standard output. Print line and print. Okay. One has a new line, the other doesn't. Okay. So nothing really exciting there. Numbers and characters. All looks like I expect. It's good to see that they do have different types for a single character and a string, unlike JavaScript. Okay, so let's practice. I like to do a course like this for regex. There's definitely some regex operators that I just do not know very well. So I see 3 println lines, so it should be 3 separate lines. Kotlin 1K. That's weird that they put the quotes around those guys, because it shouldn't print the quotes, it just prints out like you expect. Yay. Man, I'm feeling like a boss here. Okay. Oh, it's getting tricky now. 1, 2, and then 3 is going to be on the next line. It's looking good. Print line empty. Okay. And print line 4. So that looks pretty good. And good to know you can do print line empty instead of doing just a new line. All right. Ooh, this is going to be tough. Let's try in the IDE for no good reason. All right, so we're going to write a program that prints these 3 lines in a column. We can do this. Just for fun, I'll show you a little bit of Kotlin I do know. There's a function called listOf, and it is strongly typed. And so, let's see, I think it's Control P shows you the type. No. Let's see. I forget how you can see the type is, but basically this is going to create some sort of list object. I think it'll return you an interface of list of whatever types you have in here. So in this case it'll be strings, so it is strongly typed. So if we did like list, I think now if I do Control P, no, I forgot the shortcut to show you the type. Let me look that up real quick. Let's see, IntelliJ show type shortcut. Control Shift P in OS X. So let's try it. Control Shift P shows a list of strings, and list is the interface. So if we do this, we should see that we have things like for each, map, stuff like that. All the kind of standard kind of things you expect from like normal modern languages in terms of like kind of functionality. So I'll just do a for each. Now one thing that I like about Kotlin, and I'll tell you one thing I like about Kotlin and one thing that I'm kind of on the fence about. First, the bad. In most languages, when you do a lambda, you would kind of do something in here, but you see that the IDE is yelling at me. It doesn't want to autocomplete. And that's because I did parentheses. In this case, what we actually need to do is inside these parentheses, we need to have some brackets. So now we can do, and you know, whatever. I guess I should do S for string. So, you know, that's fine. And that doesn't really bother me. But one convention that Kotlin does is if you've got brackets inside of parentheses and your lambda is the last argument, then you can drop the parentheses. They're optional, which makes it so you can do stuff like this really easily, and it just reads nicely. So we can do like print line S. So one thing that I like, so that's the thing that was kind of, I'm on the fence about. It's kind of awkward to me to kind of have this like lambda that looks like a code block and there's no parentheses around it. So it's not super clear that this is actually a function that potentially even takes other arguments. One thing I like though is that unlike say JavaScript or C#, you don't have to specify a single argument name. You will default it in most cases to it. So I just think that reads nicely. So we're saying list of first, second, third for each print line it. And it is just the item in the list. So it's the same thing as writing this. So just a little bit of syntax sugar. It really cuts the stuff down. And I did Control-Alt-L to format. And I think this will do it. I'm sure they meant for us to do 3 print lines. But this will work. So I don't know what you guys think. Have you guys seen Kotlin before? I think stuff like that is just makes life nicer. Even list of is really nice. It's strongly typed, but it just got that syntax sugar that makes it easy to read. So let's hit that check. I've seen some Scala stuff that's nice, and they've got a lot of, you know, strange to me operators. But I don't know, there's something about Kotlin I just love. Instant love. All right, I hit check, so give it a few minutes. Hey, it worked. Awesome. So there we learned a couple things. Here we could do the same trick with the equal sign if we really wanted to get it down. So really this is a one-liner. Ah, cool. Yeah, glad to hear it. Yeah, I love Kotlin. So in this case, I think it's a little harder to read. I don't love it being a one-liner. This is more like kind of what I would type here. Well, yeah, I like it. And I mean, compared to Java, ooh, Java's gotten a lot better though. I tend to beat up on it, but there's a lot of stuff. It's got the type inference and stuff. So if I were to do this, then main would automatically pick up on the fact that it should return a value. In this case, it's returning a list of strings. So if we come in here and let's see. I was just curious if I could drop those. Doesn't look like it. All right, so that's cool. So it looks like it sees that we solved it. Good. So I didn't really learn anything new about print line, but it's still kind of cool. Ooh, standard output tic-tac-toe. Write a program that displays the result grid of a tic-tac-toe game. All right. Grid is below. O is not a 0, it's a letter. Okay, X's and O's. That displays the result grid. What's the input look like? Oh, do we literally just have to print this out? Okay. Display the result grid of tic-tac-toe. So what's the best way to do this? I mean, we could just do this. I think. Doesn't look like that's gonna work. So you have to do something like this. No multi-line strings, is that true? So we're missing the new lines there, but now I'm kind of curious, like Kotlin multi-line string. Inconvenient. Oh, 3 quotes? Huh. So if I'm reading that right, then it looks like there's some special sugar for this as well, where I do 3 equal signs, or 3 quotes. Let's see here. Yeah, look at that. It's the compiler looks good, but unfortunately we got the spaces. I mean, again, we can shorten this up to a one-liner. So I would not really call that beautiful, but learned about multi-line in Kotlin. I wonder where they picked this up. This doesn't seem like something they would have just invented. Like, there's other languages that do stuff. Oh, I think of Kotlin's being like analogous to C#, but it's just more convenient for like little type things because I don't need a class, I don't need a namespace. Most stuff is in like the main namespace, so I don't have to do a bunch of like stupid imports like import system or whatever. So it's just a little scrappier. So we got the right answer. That's probably good. We learned something new there, so I'll don't have to get too fancy with maps or anything. All right. Yeah, so Trent, in this case, I don't need new line because I did the triple double quotes at the front. That's like the special way of doing multi-line prints. Yeah, I've never seen that before. So I don't know if they got that from some other language or they invented it. Oh my gosh, yay. Okay. So we're doing good here. Print the numbers from 0 to 9, including a 9. Okay, each on its own, that's fine. So this is a good chance to look up what ranges look like in Kotlin. I don't know what they look like. This is probably stuff like this is the reason I haven't been doing code challenges in Kotlin, just because I'm not real sure about little stuff like this. So this looks like exactly the kind of thing we want to do for in dots. Okay, that all looks good. Oops, too far. So all the stuff I'm doing here, like if you're truly learning Kotlin for the first time, like it's probably better to just kind of, you know, do a standard for loop or whatever, but I'm just kind of having fun. I'm sure they're going to cover over iterators and stuff in the future. So was it in 0.9? Was it val? I forget. Nope. Empty body, okay. Print line. There we go. Texas Rangers. No, I don't know anything about Haskell. That's a language I definitely have been interested in learning. I hear so many good things about it. That's why they call them Texas Ranges, though. I've never heard that before. Unless we got the right answer. Looks like they do expect a new line after 9, too. So all good there. Let's see, Texas Ranges. It's funny. That was a cool website. Learn you a Haskell. I love this website. That's cute. Okay, cool. Oh wow, it works with letters too. That's nice. That's slick. I wonder what would happen here if we did this. Yeah, it works. All right. So yeah, looks like they were taking some notes on Haskell. Oops, I already hit check. No. Code style error. What? Correct what could be improved? What? Was it just because I didn't have a space here? Can be improved. Doesn't tell me how. Whoa. How can we make this better? I mean, I could have... I wonder if I could do something more like 0.9 for each. Yeah, looks like it. Print it. So save some lines. Okay, so yeah, literally it was warning me about the fact that I didn't have a space, so I wasn't conforming to their standards. So Control Alt L is your friend. I can't really imagine getting much better than this. For loops are probably more efficient than an iterator, but I'm fine with that for this input size. All right. What? Can be improved. How can it be improved? Oh man. Oh, there we go. The code does not follow some style guides. I wonder if it doesn't like the multi-line thing. No, they got me wondering. Do they want to see it broken apart like this? I don't see any like hints or anything. No warns in here. I even did the double tab for line continuation, which I'm not crazy about. This is definitely not my preference, but that's how their style tool does it, so that's what I do. Can be improved. Alright, I'm guessing that's why. Let's see. How can my style be improved? It's so beautiful already. Let's put it back to what it was. Alright, I'm letting them know. Let's see what other people say about it. Control D to the setter. What does Control D do? Oh, duplicate. That's cool. Alright. So, good enough. I don't know about can be improved here. That's frustrating. Trying to be an overachiever here. Alright, completed standard input. So now we're ready to actually work on the project. What do you guys think of the style so far? I mean, I think, you know, a lot of this stuff is really basic, so, you know, it's kind of hard to really judge it. It's, you know, kind of boring and tedious to do that sort of stuff. I don't know if there's any avoiding that, like if they're targeting like total beginners. Tell us about your leveling goals. Oh, I do get coins for it though. Let's see, I want to improve my skills and better at my current job, sure. Also just for fun. So apparently all it takes to get me to fill out a survey is internet points. Alright, we've got an actual project now. I'll start with the program that makes coffee. I skipped a few steps, but I think that's probably okay. The first version of the program will just make you a coffee. Prints to standard output. Prints all lines. Okay. Let's solve this thing in the IDE. It's interesting that they're still talking about this being in early access, even though it's been a year. Let's see. Oh, look, we've got a package now. It's pretty cool. I guess we're going to keep building on this. You know, let's be lazy. So we'll do this. Have we talked about val and var yet? So val is immutable, and the JVM doesn't like naturally support immutability. I believe. I'm not 100% sure on that, But Kotlin kind of has an extra compiler step to make sure that you never reset val. So it's just a good way of, and that it's not val. No, it is val, sorry. I was getting confused with JavaScript, which kind of has the same thing with like let and const. But in Kotlin's val and var. So I could say val, call it steps. And just like I would do in JavaScript or something, I can do a .split and give it like a new line. I wonder if there's like an environment.newLine. New line. Let's look that up. Kotlin and new line. Because maybe it's Windows, maybe it's Linux. Yeah, so environment.newLine is what it is in C#. What about Kotlin? Oh, it always uses N, so that's fine. We'll split on the character new line or the string new line. Looks like it likes that better. So that will give us a list of strings. I mean, really, I could just print this whole thing out though, right? We could skip all this. It passes the test, but it's not exactly what they're looking for, so I feel kind of cheap. I don't know. I'm okay with it though. Looks like we're about to finish this first module, then maybe I'll take a look at the nightmare one. Do a big jump. Or maybe they'll have something interesting. They referred to like taking money and running out of milk and stuff, so I'm assuming it's going to be interactive, but I don't know. Oh, hey, we can skip right here. So now let's consider a case where you need a lot of coffee. Maybe you're hosting a party with lots of guests. A coffee party, hey, exciting. We need to calculate how much water, coffee, and milk are necessary to make the specified coffee. 1 cup of coffee made on this machine contains 200 milliliters of water, 50 of milk, and 15 grams of coffee beans. Users should input the amount of coffee they need. Okay, so we're just calculating how much we need. Okay, this represents user input. Notice that it's not part of the input, okay? So we'll say, hey, how many cups of coffee do you need? And then they'll say 25, and then we'll do the math, and then reprompt them. Okay. So I'm a little surprised to see this code still in here. It looks like it didn't really clear it out. It's kind of weird. So I guess I'm evolving the same program. I don't know. We haven't looked at how to do like user inputs or anything. So make sure I read it right. Okay. So it looks like we got a couple constants, so I'll do that up here. 1 cup of coffee contains 200 milliliters of water. So I'll call it water per coffee. Sure. Why is it squiggling at me? Because I never use it. That's fine. In C# private variables, we would typically do something like that. In Kotlin, you can just make it private. We don't have a class though, so it's kind of weird. They're just kind of floating around, but I think making them private is probably still fine. 50 milliliters of milk. And I like to have the units in there too. Maybe I'll just call it milk milliliters, water milliliters. It's 50. Got that from clean code. 15G of beans. Bean grams is 15. Okay. Make this private to be consistent. Okay, so what's the best way to do this? The kind of main steps are basically prompt the user for input, calculate results, and print the results. I always like to keep my calculations separate from my output. Tends to work out better for me. So I'll just go do 3 separate functions. I'm sure they don't intend for this, but that's fine. And as we like to talk about on the show, we're going to do this newspaper style. So basically the functions are going to follow this pattern. So we'll have a fun called prompt user. And what it will do is say, write how many cups of coffee you will need. And then do like a scanf, maybe a read line. We'll try it. I think I skipped the part on input. Don't we need to tell it what kind of variable? Guess not. So say val input equals read line. And we need to parse this as an integer. Should I separate that or should I just do that here? Let's do it here. Int.parse. I don't know actually how to do this. Is there a parseInt? Input.toInt. Yeah, okay. Looks like there's a toInt function. Okay, it looks like readline returns a nullable string. Let's go look at it. One thing I really love about Kotlin and working just in IntelliJ in general is it's really good about either linking to source for stuff or decompiling code and taking you to it. So here we can see that string actually it's possible to be null, which can be if the input is redirected to a file. So that shouldn't be the case here. We shouldn't have to worry about null. So all I'm going to do here is tell it, I'm going to put bang bang at the end, which tells us that this cannot be null. I'm going to say, listen, it's not null. If it is, that's a runtime error. So it's easier than doing a check here. It's just another kind of nice way that Kotlin makes your life easier. We could also put it down here. So this is probably a better way of doing it. So I'm going to say input bang bang. So I'm saying it better not be null. If it is, it's a problem. To int. And that's what we'll return. So now we do have to set the return type. When you do the equal sign up here, like if we figure out how to get this into a one-liner, then it would pick up the type by inference. But because we've got a multi-line function here, we do have to actually set the return type of integer. As you can see, it's capital I, so that is a proper class, which we can go look at with Control B. So this kind of stuff is nice. You know, I don't know if you do that in C#. It's been a while since I've worked with Visual Studio, but I love just being able to Control B and going to see even like, you know, things like min, max values. Just this is the integer class, and it's all here and documented in a way that I can understand. So just these little things that are lovely. All right, so I think that's probably good. Let's go ahead and run it. And it'll ask for our input. We'll type it in, hit enter, and then that'll be the end of it. Hey, just to be goofy, let's do something fun here. Check this out. In Kotlin, you can surround function names with the single tick and say prompt the user for input. Now, they don't recommend doing this. In fact, this is discouraged. So if we mouse over this, it'll probably tell us don't do it. But it's not actually. But we can call this function just like this, and it like reads kind of like English, like, hey, prompt the user for input. Function name may contain only letters and digits. Why is it telling me that? I don't know, let's try it. I think that's just a warning, not a hard error. Yeah, so check that out. Isn't that weird that you can have like spaces and stuff? I think you can have punctuation. There's a couple characters that you can't do. But yeah, it's they recommend this for tests actually. That's the whole kind of reason that this exists. So you can write unit tests with really nice names, but you can cheat and use it for other things. Let's try text. Okay, it wasn't able to parse it as an int, and we exited. That's fine. Here I probably should have done a print instead of a print line. If we look at the input, yep, there's definitely a space here. All right. Try it again. $125. All right. It didn't error out. So there's I just hit the play button up here. There's IntelliJ is complex, no doubt. Like you can see there's like play buttons all over the place, which is really convenient, but it can also be confusing if you've never looked at it before. Like there's just a lot of stuff on the screen, you know. But it's an extremely advanced editor. And I don't have many complaints about it, other than sometimes it's a little wonky, you have to kind of restart it. But that's like every editor, except for Visual Studio. Visual Studio is like Battleship. Okay, so that was pretty cool. Let's see here. Let's see, required cups of coffee equals. Well, now I don't like this function name. Maybe we'll call it get required of coffee. All right, I could have just done like Shift F6 to do the same thing. But now we're going to calculate the results, which looks like what? We're going to tell it milk, water, and coffee beans. And I'm going to use the data class here. Again, this is definitely, this is going to be way more lines than is strictly necessary, but I just kind of want to show off some cool stuff about Kotlin. Kotlin allows the ability to specify data classes, and they're kind of like structs or like simple classes or something. But the difference between a class and a data class is that a data class compares based on its values. So for example, coffee requirements, we can have val, this is basically our constructor. Let's see. It's a dumb way of doing it. Yeah, this is really, I'm not going to do it this way, but I'll just tell you real quick. The deal with a data class, the difference between a data class and a regular class is the data class will compare the values of its public values to see if it's equal. So it's a nice way if you've got classes that you want to say, is this class equal to this one, and you don't want to compare to see if it's actually the same object, you want to compare the values that are in it, the public values in it, then data class is a way of doing that, but we just don't need that. So I can't bear to do it. So we'll call this function get requirements. We'll take in required cups of coffee, and it's an integer. We do have to tell it the type. And what we'll do is return, I don't know, maybe a tuple. Well, what do they call it? You can return multiple items, I believe. Let's give it a shot. So we will return this times the milk, no, water first. This times the milk. And I'm gonna have to do something special here. And this times the coffee G. And Kotlin return multiple. You have to give it names at least, I believe. All we can do is pair tuple, but there's some sugar around it. Pair. Yes, this is what I want. Restructuring declarations. Okay. So I want tuple. Yes, this right here. Okay, awesome. So I do need names for it. So we'll call it val water equals milk equals and coffee equals, oh, it's beans, right? We'll call it beans. And then we can just return parentheses water, milk, and beans. And we got some squiggles. Change return type to integer. What? All right, let's try that. Let me make some room here. Hey, take it easy, Abdul. And thank you. Get requirements. Must have a body. All right, getting better. So we're going to turn water, milk, and beans. All three are integers. But I'm not returning a function. What is going on here? This article's not helping. Kotlin return multiple values. You can't, but you can use data classes. Okay. Triple. It's built in. Yeah, I was hoping not to create a class. Trying to avoid. Yeah, we could do triple and then use it. So yeah, let's do that. So we'll return a triple. And we'll just do it like this. Oh, it's kind of a lot of lines, which I don't love. Yeah, we could do an array, but I don't love arrays because it doesn't tell you that there's always going to be 3. I mean, I don't love what I'm doing anyway, though. So I don't know. That's kind of gross. But what I think an array probably would have the same effect because ultimately the person calling this has to know that beans are always third or whatever. So I don't love that, but it's private. So I can kind of justify what I'm about to do here. So this will get our requirements. So I basically can say required water, required milk, and required coffee equals get requirements. And I could pass it our number of coffee. So I mean, I like how that looks. And then all we have to do is just return. So private fun, output results. Let's see if we just do print line. It'll do our little triple here. Alright, and we do have to be cognizant of these lines so that the tabs are not going to look super great here. I don't love how that looks. And we'll take in all the arguments here. Cups, water, milk, and beans. And then I think it's $sign cups. Yep. $sign water. And we'll put the types in here. And milk ml. Alright, so not the prettiest code ever. Call it maybe print results. And I need to tell it that these are integers. Okay. Spacing looks good. This is a print line, so I'll do new line afterwards, which looks good. It almost looks like we need 2 new lines. Is that right? So they actually want this. So this will do 1. But they didn't tell us how many times to, I guess this is every time we execute the program, we only do it once. There's no loop. Coffee. I'll shorten this down. I don't know. So how does that look? Not the prettiest code in the world. Oops. I do like how it reads down, so you can kind of read fairly easily. We get the requirements. Get required cups of coffee. Get ingredient requirements, I guess. And then we print. Alright, so let's see what happens when we run it. Oop. I hit F5, I still hit. I get all my shortcuts mixed up between editors. We want 125. So we should get 25,6250,1875. Looks like quite a few new lines there. Is that the right answer? Oh. Somehow I lost the page I was on. Okay. So yeah, it looks like this doesn't really matter. So we can just do that. Let's check it. Test passed. Yeah. Okay, real coffee machine never has an infinite supply. And if you input a really big number, it's almost certain that a real coffee machine wouldn't have the supplies needed. So now we're going to input amounts of water, milk, and coffee that we have. If we have enough supplies, the program should print yes. If it's more, then it will tell you how much more they can do. Or we can say no. Okay. Okay, the amounts that we need are the same. Should firstly request for water, then milk, then beans. Okay. Oh my gosh, quite a few examples here. How much water? So it's basically the same, except for now that we implement, we're going to ask for how much you have of each of these. And that's the same. And then our output is different. Okay. These three functions are so similar, or these four functions are so similar. I almost want to make it generic. They always take numbers. Yeah, let's do that. So we'll call get requirement. And now it'll take a statement or a question, I guess. It's a string. And we'll print that out. And okay. So we'll say something like this. Get requirement. This is no longer cups though. This is what we're going to call this. Total water, ml. Okay. We'll do total milk, ml. This is making me want coffee. I'm actually drinking a soda, which I don't even like regular soda. I'm into diet soda, but I am out of coffee. Okay. How many milliliters? So all this coffee talk is making me sad. These are vowels. Total beans in grams. All right. How many cups of coffee you will need? It's called coffee request, cup request maybe. So I am going to go ahead and remove these things because I don't know, it feels kind of dumb to have them at the end every time when we can just do something like this. That should work. All right, so I'm definitely going to break this into a smaller function. And we'll do the data class thing too, sure. We don't need this function anymore, do we? Actually, we do. Okay. Call this get requirements. Get requirement. We'll have another function called get requirements that will do all of these. It's going to return something different though. now we will go ahead and do the data class requirements. And we'll have it do this. Val. Basically all these things. If you middle click, you can do a vertical selection, which I'm a fan of. We do have to tell it the type. So there we go. Total water, so that's everything. And we've got a data class that's doing that. So now we can just say equals return. Actually, we can just do it like this. Requirements. We don't need the ending bracket, and we can just get rid of all of this. I'll do vertical selection again, and you can do arrows at that point, and control arrow will get the word. Isn't that cool? And then we can do end here and hit comma. All right. Oop. Try that again. Okay, so we get our requirements now. It's now a data class. Say val requirements equals get requirements. I don't love having my data class down in the middle though. I'm going to put this up top somewhere. This can be private. No one else needs to know about it. Okay, so we get our requirements. Then here we need to pass requirements.cup request. So this will tell us how much we need. So now, let's see. Now our print results is going to be different. It's just going to take in our requirements. And what is it going to take in? Let's see. Customer requirements. I'll call this like get necessary ingredients. Get required amounts. All right, sure. And here it's still returning a triple, which I don't love. So let's go ahead and fix that now. Call this, let's see. I don't like the word required. Whatever. Required amounts. And it's got water, milk, and beans. So down here, we get our required amounts. Now we'll just create a class here. Instead of a triple, now we return required amounts. That was easy. So in here, we don't need to destructure anymore. Alright, and our print result function, this whole thing can just go away. That's just changing too much. You can say print results, pass requirements, and required amounts. Do a little vertical selection trick again. Control Shift. There we go. All right. And we'll print results. See if I can alt enter to create function. Yeah, cool. Ooh, I'll put it up top though. I want it at bottom because we're doing newspaper style. Hey, why is this yelling at me? No value passed for cup request. What? required amounts. Did I not? Oh yeah, there's no cup request on this object. Okay, that's good. So how you guys liking Kotlin? And if you've never seen IntelliJ, what do you think of it? Definitely, I mean, with all the side menus and stuff, I was super overwhelmed at first working with IntelliJ. All right, so here we take these two things, and what we're going to do is output either this or this or this. All right, so the easiest way to do this is probably figure out how many cups we can make. Let's see. Makeable cups. How do you spell makeable? I don't know. I've got some naming problems here. It's pretty gross. Like the word total and requirements just comes up over and over and over again. They're like, it's just confusing to me. Available cups equals requirements. No, has nothing to do with requirements. Does it? Okay. So what we can do is basically required just go in here to requirements. Yeah, I didn't even need to do requirements. I did too much work. That's okay. Let's see. Total milk divided by milk milliliters is how many cups we can make based on the milk. And we've got total water, ml, divided by water. I think we do that first. All right, so I got a text. And beans, there we go, total beans. G. So what I was thinking is basically math.min. So basically the number of cups of coffee that we can make is limited by whatever our smallest number here is. So this makes me want to write unit tests. I don't know if I want to go there for this simple example though. Available cups equals, I believe this will do integer division, which should automatically do the floor. So water divided by water, milk, milk, beans, beans, will tell us how many total cups we can make. So if available cups is less than requirements dot cup request, then we say, no, I can only make, oops, no, I can only make, and this will be available cups, how many cups of coffee I can make. I don't need the brackets. Okay, else if available cups equals cup request, which I kind of want this one first actually. This seems to make a little more sense to me. Else. All right, then we will print, yes, I can make that amount. Okay. The last case is the one where we can make more. And then we're going to print out all this jazz. And this number is going to be a little bit different. It'll be available cups minus requirements.cup request. Okay, that's it. So what is it not? Oh, I did 3 equals here instead of 2 equals. JavaScript life. Oh, hey, this is another cool Kotlin thing, and this is another case where the IDE is really good about noticing that we've got a 3-level kind of if-else thing. It says, hey, we have an operator for that. Let's replace if with when. So it reads a little bit nicer. So to read it now, when available cups equals the cup request, we print this. When available cups is less, we would do this. When, default case, every other case, then it prints that. So a little bit cleaner than if else. And you can do some pretty cool stuff here. You can see like it's kind of like a switch statement, except that we are doing greater thans equals. You can do other stuff here. So like pattern matching. It's nice. And this function is public and it touches private, so it should be private. So another nice hint there. We have a couple other warnings up here. Oh, we can make these constants. So thanks IntelliJ. The difference between vals and const is kind of a compiler thing. Like constants are basically hard-coded values, like in the when it's compiled in, but vals are still technically variables underneath. And that's if you remember, I said that the JVM doesn't have like a real notion of immutability. This is something that Kotlin is kind of tacked on, and a couple other JVM languages have built in at their layer. But when it compiles down to the Java underneath, it still compiles down to a variable. So other languages outside of that can still manipulate as variables. So it's still not perfect. It's not like true functional thanks to the JVM. But I don't need the comments either. But by doing a const, it does force that to be a const. So it just plays nicer with other languages. So why not? What's here? None of the following functions. Math.min, also another JavaScript ism. Let's see, is there a min? Yes, Kotlin has a min, but it only takes 2. So that's annoying. Let's see. I wonder if we could do something something slicker. Like if we say list of dot sorted dot first. So this is a dumb way of doing it. It's silly. Let's simplify this to just be, oh, there's a min function, so you can take a list. So that's nicer, and we're saying you're definitely not going to be null, which is good. So that's cool. So instead of me doing a min function that takes multiple params, basically taking a list and calling min on the list, and it knows how to deal with that number. Okay, cool. So let's try running this. Yeah. How many cups of water? I'm missing a space here. What? Where is that code? Right there. I need a space there, so let's go ahead and stop it. And do it again. How many milliliters of water do we have? Thousands. How many milliliters of this does it have? More thousands. Oh, I exceeded the bounds of an integer. Awesome. So a little bit smaller. Okay. So this is good. I can only make 621 cups of coffee. So good. Let's try a smaller amount of coffee now. All right, and we're going to try and make 1 cup of coffee and say yes, and it can make 41 more than that. Okay, so I mean, it looks like it's working. Let's try the exact case. And we'll go a little bit over, like 201, 51, 16. So in this case, each one is a little bit more than the constant, but it's not enough to make another cup of coffee. So when I say I want 1 cup of coffee, it should say, yes, we can do that. Okay, cool. So let's check it. All right. Continue. Stage 4 action. Let me check how many more of these are. So I've looked up a couple things. So we're in action, and we gotta loop it. All right, I think we're pretty close to doing all of it, so I might just continue. All right, I don't know. Let me know. Let me know if you're bored to tears or if you're having fun watching this. I'm worried about boring y'all. So let's simulate an actual coffee machine. It has a limited supply of water, milk, coffee beans, and disposable cups. Also, it counts how much money it gets for selling coffee. It can also make different varieties of coffee: espresso, latte, and cappuccino. Oh my gosh, it's getting complicated. Write the program that can do one of these actions at a time. It reads one line from standard input. It can be buy, fill, take. Oh my gosh. Okay, tell you what. I don't feel like doing this. The instructions have gotten too long. I'm going to come back to this later, though. We've been streaming for an hour and a half. I think I might just do the LeetCode problem of the day. And we'll do it in Kotlin. Give it a shot. But let me know what you think about JetBrains Academy. If you're interested in learning Python, Java, or Kotlin, I'm pretty happy with the course overall. Like, we're definitely in the beginner stuff. I kind of wish I had started a little bit later, but I don't know. It's also been nice and chill for a good Saturday morning. Whatever day it is. Let's try the May Elite Coding Challenge. I did yesterday. We had a couple technical challenges on the stream, so I ended up deleting it. Jewels and stones. You're given strings J representing the types of stones that are jewels, and S representing the stones that you have. J is types of stones that are jewels, and S represents stones that you have. Each character S is a type of stone you have. You want to know how many of the stones you have that are also jewels. Okay. The letters in J are guaranteed distinct, and all characters in J and S are letters. Letters are case sensitive. A is different from A. So in this case, we have jewels of lowercase and capital A, and we have stones. And we want to know that we've got, in this case, 3 jewels. So my initial inclination is basically to take jewel and make it into a hash table, and then we just loop through each one of these and check if it's in the hash. For each stone, check if it's a jewel. Okay. So let's do it in Kotlin. All right, put it in the solution class for us, which is not strictly required, but I guess depending on how they run it, that's how we do. So we've got a string here, and we want to convert it to a map. So we can split, I believe, on each character. And that will give us an array, which we need to convert to not a map, but a set. Kotlin to set. So it looks like we literally have an array that we can call to set on. So it looks like that's going to work. And I'm not sure that strings can split like that, but we've got an IDE open right here, so let's try it. Can I have a string? Oops. And do dot split on it? Yeah, but it takes a regex or a var arg. Okay. So I can do an empty character. Or maybe I can just do toMap right there. Nope. Set. Yep, we can do a character sequence to a set, so we don't have to do the split. All right. Yeah, this is making me want premium for the IntelliSense. Let's see. Val set equals our set, and then we want to iterate through our string. So if we had a string here and we want a for each, okay, cool. S dot for each It'd be like, I bet there's like a sum or something. Sum by. So we'll say this is our J. And it will be dot to set all joules. Why don't you like that? Oh, because I'm inside a class here. All right, let's try it somewhere else. All right. Sum by, and I want to say joules dot contains it. Sum by should be in brackets, not in parentheses. So now what don't you like? Contains. Oh, it's not contains. So we don't really want to sum by, we want to count. Yep, okay, I think that's it. All right, so val our joules equals J to set. We'll call it joule set, sure. And then string, we will count the items in the joule set. All right, submit. Okay, cool. Let's see how we did. I don't see where I am. Let's see the best answer. Hash map of instead of set of. It's interesting. And so they keep the sums as they go along. I'm surprised this is the fastest. That's very surprising to me. For each plus, why didn't, whatever, I'm built it in. I prefer my solution. So I'm good with that. All right, well, hey, I'm gonna get out of here, but we went through JetBrains Academy and then did just a little bit more Kotlin here on the day's LeetCode problem. Very easy. Glad to hear that. So hope you all have a good one. And hey, let me know if you like this sort of thing. I love Kotlin, but if no one else does, then I don't want to be boring you guys to tears. So I don't know. Let me know. Oh, I got a comment on LeetCode. Oh, cool. That was the problem I was complaining about yesterday, where the problem was supposed to be like an easy dynamic programming challenge, but I had a hard time figuring out what the instructions kind of meant, and the whole problem boiled down to you could do basically if the input was odd or even. And so everyone was doing one-liners and winning. And when I looked at the discussion, this was the only person that had actually like done a dynamic solution. So wanted to make sure I left a good comment for him. I'm glad he saw it, so that's good. That was nice. All right, cool. Well, I'm out of here. See ya. Happy Saturday.